Chapter 262, Stuffed. The first time Zhu Tui had heard of the organization was when he had gone to Sea Paradise. The information A Huang had given him about Sea Paradise had mentioned the organization. The relationship behind Sea Paradise was complicated. Other than the participation of the Blue Star Genetic Committee and the Wuxia Genetic Committee, there was also the superb individual charity organization. However, Zhu Tui did not pay much attention to it. The Blue Star Genetic Committee was as far away from Zhu Tun as the superb individual charity organization was from Zhu Tui. However, Zhu Tui did not expect that the myth, the superb individual charity organization, would extend its reach into the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. It had also come into contact with friends like Gongling. This influence was a little shocking. However, he was only surprised for a moment. On second thought, it was actually very normal. The Great Genetic Evolution Era was an era where the results of genetic evolution research appeared explosively. Although it had slowed down in recent decades, new results were being produced every day. Therefore, the Genetic Evolution College of various countries, including the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College, accepted these things with an open and inclusive attitude, including various public welfare organizations. The Myth Group was actually similar to the Genetic Ancient Martial Arts Association. However, Genetic Ancient Martial Arts originated in the Wuxia sector, while the Myth originated overseas. Since the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College already had a Genetic Ancient Martial Arts Club, it was normal for the Myth to develop members. In any case, Zhu Tui, who was studying the school rules of the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College, did not realize that the school had such a rule. In other words, there was nothing to be surprised about. Little Toof, do you want to join? Sister Kinking said that you can join too. Although the Myth is a charity organization for supernatural beings, this supernatural being comprises a broader meaning. It includes all the genetic newcomers in the mystery branch, even people from the extreme branch could join too, Gongling said. Zhu Tui's heart skipped a beat when he heard that. He suddenly had an idea. It was mainly because Zhu Tui had been playing mind games with Wen Xiao recently. He had become more thorough in his considerations. Why? Did Zuo Kinking ask you to ask me? Is she qualified to be a member of the Myth's development team? Zhu Tui asked. No, it's just that I felt that after using the Myth's methods, my improvement was not bad, so I chatted with Sister Kinking about you. Sister Kinking said that it should be possible. She should be qualified. Anyway, I directly became an outer member of the Myth through Sister Kinking after she made some calls. Then, I received my first benefit as an outer member, Gongling said. First benefit? That's right. It's that plant-type cultivation method with a very special genetic base point. It's the one that increased my combat strength greatly. As she spoke, Gongling waved her small arms and her breasts shook violently. Zhu Tui was a little stunned. He quickly asked, activate the cultivation method? Does our school have any relevant records? Can you teach the other students how to activate this? Zhu Tui suddenly realized an extremely important question. I can't. The cultivation method to activate this special genetic base point given by the Myth is also very special. It's a seed and a bottle of extremely special medicine. I just followed their instructions and located this special genetic base point. Then, I used 4 to 5 days to activate it successfully and obtained a new plant-type ability. Zhu Tui nodded when he heard that. As expected, technological barriers had begun to appear. The Myth gave benefits to new members and helped them activate some special genetic base points. However, they used special techniques to prevent others from replicating this process. Actually, genetic ancient martial arts had similar technological barriers. For example, the 4th and 5th levels of the Vira Tide Force field were basically taught through the guidance of the energy field. It was just that the technology barrier of the Myth was more direct. Little Tui, do you want to join? I'll tell Sister Kinking if you do. Gongling held the peeled apple and looked at Zhu Tui expectantly. Zhu Tui shook his head after he thought about it. I won't consider it for now. I'll think about it later. Oh. Gongling was a little disappointed. Zhu Tui did not completely refuse. He felt that he should not bite off more than he could chew. At the moment, Zhu Tui had only cultivated half of the genetic miracles and genetic ancient martial arts. He would not add any myths or public welfare organizations. He would cultivate for a period of time first. Moreover, even if he really wanted to join, it was impossible for Zhu Tui to join just like that. Zhu Tui was currently the first-year dragon of the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. In the next 2 to 3 years, even if he could not become the dragon of Wuxia, it was very likely that he would become the dragon of year 2 or year 3. With such an identity, if he really wanted to join a charity organization, he would have to discuss it. Putting aside the advertising fees and signing fees, he had to get more benefits. Gong Ling watched as Zhu Tui quickly finished the food that she had brought over. The disappointment that she had felt just now had disappeared. Her face was filled with joy. "Little Tui, have an apple." Gong Ling handed him a peeled apple. "Oh right, little Tui, I'll send you lunch and dinner during the few days you're hospitalized. I'll try my best to bring you your favorite dishes. If you have anything you want to eat, just call me." Zhu Tui nodded vigorously when he saw Gong Ling's sweet smile. He suddenly had an impulse. Should he hold her hands? If Gong Ling was not angry when he held her hand, did that mean that he was going to get rid of being a single dog? Gong Ling's face turned red from Zhu Tui's gaze. At this moment, someone knocked on the door again. Zhu Tui and Gong Ling, who had not done anything, one lay back down on the bed, while the other sat up straight as if they were thieves. "Please come in." What greeted his eyes was a large blue mask. It was Zhao Soxui. Gong Ling quickly stood up when she saw that it was Zhao Soxui. She packed her things and said goodbye to Zhao Soxui before leaving. "Zhu Tui, what do you want to eat in the afternoon? Text me." Zhu Tui nodded, but his expression was a little awkward. He realized that Zhao Soxui was also carrying a food container. However, Zhao Soxui had entered with her hands behind her back. Gong Ling might not have noticed, but Zhu Tui did. Zhao Soxui, who was wearing a large mask, said softly, "I thought that you might not be used to the food in the medical center, so I brought you some food. It looks like there's no need. You've already eaten." She spoke very softly, but it sounded strange to Zhu Tui. Zhao Soxui seemed a little unhappy. Zhu Tui, who had a strong desire to live, directly grabbed the lunchbox. "Heh, I'm not full yet." Then, Zhu Tui began to pick up the food that Zhao Soxui had brought. Zhao Soxui, who usually did not like meat, brought Zhu Tui a portion of stir-fried beef and a portion of spicy scallop. There were not many dishes, but the main course was dumplings. The taste was not bad either. They were all the flavors that Zhu Tui liked. However, he had eaten too much today. He had already eaten his third meal. Most importantly, he had to pretend that he was enjoying the food. This meal made Zhu Tui feel bitter. Zhu Tui was not reaping what he had sown. He instinctively felt that since Zhao Soxui had taken the initiative to bring him food, he should not have poured the food away. If that really happened, Zhao Soxui would not be happy. Therefore, he had to eat well. "By the way, Miss Anne, have you heard of the myth?" Zhu Tui suddenly mentioned this while they were eating. "Why? Did they send someone to contact you?" "That's true. You're now a first-year dragon of the Wuxia Genetic Evolution College. It's only natural for them to send someone to contact you," Zhao Soxui said. "Not really. It's just that Gong Ling mentioned just now that her strength has increased very quickly. She asked me if I wanted to join her. I did not agree," Zhu Tui said. "You were right not to agree." Zhao Soxui nodded. Although the myth is known as a public welfare organization, it first appeared together with the Dawn Salvation Trader Organization and expanded. However, not long after they appeared, the two of them took seemingly different paths. In order to pursue rapid development, Dawn Salvation colluded with extraterrestrial forces and was suppressed by the Genetic Committee. However, the myth had taken root on the Blue Star and was developing steadily. It was said that it had already obtained actual control over some areas in the Europa League and the non-league zone. It was very ambitious. In the past few years, there had been a trend of competing with the Genetic Committee of the various sectors. However, the myth maintained a strong theoretical and technical advantage in the field of genetic evolution research. Even the experienced technological powerhouses, the Yamato and Korean star sectors, could not compare to them. It's best for you to focus on your cultivation now. It's best not to come into contact with them before you have a strong need for techniques and new abilities. If you really wanted to interact with them, you might as well be more reserved. The myth's favorite thing to do is to include the top geniuses of the Genetic Evolution College in various sectors into their organization. And Zhao Soxui said. Zhu Tui rubbed his bulging stomach and nodded vigorously. In this aspect, and Zhao Xu's thoughts were very compatible with his. He had to hold on to it first. When it was time to join, he had to get some additional benefits. Otherwise, he would be letting down the title of first-year dragon. It was just like how Zhu Tui had gained the favor of Master Shen Jushuang by joining the Genetic Ancient Martial Arts Association. Zhu Tui had also displayed his value and obtained many additional benefits. Since you're done eating, I'll be leaving. Since someone has brought you food, I won't bother you anymore. I don't want you to eat too much every day. By the way, don't forget to cultivate while you're hospitalized. After saying that, and Zhao Soxui left with her long ponytail. However, why did Zhu Tui feel that something was amiss when he heard those words? And Zhao Soxui could tell that he had eaten too much.